Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, to Three Ravens' first episode of It's Complicated with myself, Brandon Taylor, and my co-host, Larry Smith. Larry, how are you?
I'm dandy. How are you, buddy?
I am doing swell.
I appreciate that you're broadcasting directly from your dorm room. Did mom and dad just drop you off this weekend, or?
Wow. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on freshman year, buddy.
I got to pack on that 15 pounds. You know, I got to do it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Hit the cafeteria.
And that's all muscle, though. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for
that's
sure.
That's all muscle. That's not beer.
That's no beer. I'm just bulking. It's bulking season.
It's bulk season. Absolutely. Hey, folks, you're probably wondering what we're doing here. The basis for this show is really just to announce our upcoming comedy series, which is locked in. We're going to announce comedians. We'll do them a show at a time. And then we're really just going to have fun. Hopefully we get a laugh or two out of you guys, out of ourselves. And really there are no more expectations than that. So we hope that you enjoy it. I think really, Larry, what I want to do first is just kind of get to know you. So okay. I have 3 questions for you.
Okay. Perfect.
And if I didn't say it, Larry is a seasoned comedian. So my first question is, how long have you been doing comedy?
Just shy of a decade. Just short of it. I did a lot of stage performance before that, mostly in Tijuana, but that was a different lifetime. No, I did actually a lot of Shakespearean theater prior to becoming a comedian.
One thing about Larry, as I step right on his feet, is I never know if he's serious or not. He probably very well could have been in Tijuana. I feel like you've been to prison there.
Well, it's the tramp stamp that'll tell you for sure, and I'll show you that the first show I'm there with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got my start. I started doing my friends and I wrote sketches in junior high, and then I was just always a bit of a jerk in class, but I got the laugh and the teachers couldn't be mad at me. So, and then I finally started working a job that I wasn't married to 24/7 and could start doing stand-up, and have been doing it, like I said, just shy of a decade now. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I know you and I have worked together for several years, and I've enjoyed you have a great energy. I was instantly kind of drawn to you just as a person. You're a great dude. I always have good conversations. In the short amount of time that we do get to talk, it's typically, like you said, we're running a show. After the show, we just kind of want to call it a day, but we still find time to talk to each other.
Yeah,
and it's always been a good, engaging conversation.
Well, thank you, buddy. I feel the same.
Yeah. Question number 2.
Okay.
What's your favorite memory while doing stand-up?
Gosh. Favorite memory. I drink a lot, so a lot of those are a little fuzzy. Well, I will tell you one of my favorite memories. It involves you. It was out at Exit 210, and yeah. I was hosting that show with Dusty and Troy Davis, Dusty Slay, Troy Davis.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, take care, everybody, drive fast, take chances. And you and your buddies' faces just went, what the? And I came off stage. Well, and I'm wearing my Drive Fast, Take Chances shirt right now, too.
That's awesome, dude.
That I designed, that you can buy at any show that I'm at. But I also have hats with it on there. But yeah, I came off, and you guys were like, oh, we used to say that to our buddies all the time. And I was like, yeah, we used to. It's a double meaning for us, my buddies and I. It's like, hey, stay rad, or if it's somebody you don't like, it's die in a fire. And that's the 2 meanings. We call it the Midwest Aloha because it has double meaning and covers everything. So that's one of my best memories.
That's awesome. I actually got goosebumps when you said that. We used to say that to a buddy, and I'm not trying to bring the show down by any means, but he passed away in a car accident. His dad always said, hey son, drive fast, take chances. So when you said that, our faces lit up like, holy cow, it's like this dude was in our circle, for years and years. So it was really interesting connection there, for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Crazy. I do remember that. And that was a great show too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was a
just
lot of
all
fun.
Around solid show. third and final question from me, and then if you have any questions for me, we can go ahead and fire away too. My last question is going to take a kind of serious turn. Do people call you the Wish version of Bert Kreischer?
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. That's a lot, buddy. I have actually billed myself. I had a show out in Mason City, Illinois, where I was headlining. Well, Bert was doing the Bank of Springfield Center here in Springfield, Illinois.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, hey, if you can't afford tickets to go see Bert Kreischer, come see the Bert Kreischer you get from Dollar General. I'm the if you're at the store and you say, Mom, I want Bert Kreischer, and she says, we've got Bert Kreischer at home, I'm the Bert Kreischer at home. Come see that. Two for $10. The tickets.
Awesome.
So yeah, I get compared to Bert Kreischer and Kyle Kinane. Those are the two comics that people are like, hey, do you know who you remind me of? And those, yeah. Although, who was it? There was another comic, I can't remember his name now, that like I was working with somebody, and he was like, yeah, you remind me of this guy from Boston. And I was like, that cool, I'll take it. I don't, as long as you like the guy, I don't mind being compared to him.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, that was a really good, quick synopsis of kind of who Larry is. If we want to kind of flip the script, if you've got any questions.
I do.
Oh yeah.
Boy.
Okay.
I do. These are all very serious questions, but I feel like I get to know somebody very
typically
quickly.
Crack under pressure.
Okay. Well, yeah, I bet you do with what you do. It's just, yeah, you get soft nerves. I understand. So just prepare yourself. This one always is a good icebreaker. Who's your favorite My Little Pony?
This is gonna kind of sound like a lie, but I have a hard time answering that because I can't name a single one.
Okay, Derpy Hooves. That's the one. Derpy Hooves.
Derpy Hooves?
Yeah, Derpy Hooves. Yep, that's an actual character. And that I have a daughter, and watched a lot of My Little Pony, and we actually have we have a Derpy Hooves, and that should be your favorite. So I'm sorry
I think that makes sense. I have 0 daughters. I have 3 boys, so we didn't really watch My Little Pony.
Sure.
We watched some other things.
Okay, favorite Power Ranger. That we'll throw that one out there. All you got to do is like give me a color.
I'm gonna say the Red Ranger.
Yeah, perfect.
Red Ranger.
Okay, that is the right answer. All right, second question.
Oh, you're loading me up. I see what's going on here. All
yeah,
right.
well, since you couldn't do My Little Pony, I needed to know something. Who your favorite sandwich?
I like turkey, tomato, and cheese. A little mayo.
A little classic. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Any spices on there? Any, like you throw a little garlic, little anything, little chive?
Larry, I'm getting up there in age. I know you may not believe this, but I've got to kind of watch the spices.
Oh.
Kind of watch the spices in my old age. So.
No, I get it. After 9 p.m.
Pretty vanilla.
Yeah, after 9 p.m. it's just straight vodka for me, no mixer. I get that.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Let's see. The last one is too much like the second one. I wrote it down, thinking, oh, this is a good one, but I usually save it. All right. Let's say what's the one movie you can watch over and over again, and why is it Roadhouse?
Oh, for so many reasons. Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
He kicks ass.
Sam Elliott.
Right. I don't know if we have enough time on this show to explain my love for Roadhouse and exactly why I do watch it before bed every night.
Well, it's almost like you got to read the Bible, watch Roadhouse, and then go to bed. I've got my DVD copy sitting right up here next to the Xbox, so I can play it anytime I need to.
Yeah, showing your age too with the DVDs. All right.
Well, because I couldn't find it streaming anywhere for a long time, so my wife bought it for me on DVD. And
Sweet.
Yeah. Yep. So okay, good. Those are my 3 questions. I feel like
All right,
yeah, that's how
gotcha.
we get to know each other. I like that.
Yeah, and instead of sniffing butts, a little too far away for that.
Little too. Yeah,
We ask a few questions.
I would go to the back side of the laptop, but then you just get a real close up of something that.
Moving along. Hey, so you opened it up with the movie piece, so I will see your question on Roadhouse, and basically, I'm gonna review 2 of the most recent movies or a series that I've watched recently, and if you've got 2 in mind, uh, you're welcome to do the same. So the first one, funny that I mentioned, it's probably subconsciously because you're on the show, but I watched The Machine with Burt Kreischer in it probably about a week ago. And if I were to give that a grade, I saw the initial response from folks was pretty negative in my eyes. I don't know how well it did at the box office, but what I can say is I give it a solid B. I don't think I feel like folks were focused on, they expected just an entire like laugh after laugh, like you would almost have at a Burt Kreischer show. And this was a movie that actually had some substance to it. So that's really why I gave it a B, because it actually has a pretty good backstory. Obviously, it's about the machine and the big reason why he's who he is now, with that piece of his stand-up. But there's a good backstory to it as well. So I give that a solid B. The second, and then if you've seen that, you can chime in as well. Have you seen the movie yet?
No, I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I'll probably. I don't get a chance to go to the theater very often, but if it's streaming, then I can, because I'm usually gone when it's prime time to go to the theater. But like once it hits streaming, then I'll be able to pick it up and watch it, even if it is in chunks.
Yeah, well, it is. So I don't know. I've got Amazon Prime, so that's how I watched it. I sat right here in my dorm room with the lights off and my popcorn.
Writing a letter to mom and dad.
I didn't cry once.
Not once?
Not once. Moving along.
Okay, all right.
Let's not talk about it. Second is a series. And if you're watching this and you've made it this far and you haven't seen a single TV or a single episode of this, I encourage you to start today, tonight, like as soon as this is over. The Righteous Gemstones. A plus. Danny McBride is a mastermind.
That's on our list of series to watch. I've not seen that one either. Because I'll tell you, okay, I'm gonna admit something. I hadn't watched. I grew up on a ranch. Okay, I could ride a horse before I could walk. That's not
nice.
That's not hyperbole. The old man was like, no, I got stuff to do in my hands. I'll just tie you off to my horse. Don't fall off. That was pretty much. Yeah. And so I hadn't seen one episode of Yellowstone. And so we actually, we just finished binging all the way up to the most recent episode, where they went on their break. So that's where we had been. We had told everybody. We had promised we weren't going to tell anybody that we actually watched it, because for years people were like, "You got to watch Yellowstone," and I'm like, "I ain't watching that." For whatever reason, was like, still, I'm in my 40s and I'm still rebelling against my dad for no good reason, and just because my dad's like, "You need to watch it," and I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm not watching that. And I watched one episode. I'm like, well, now I'm hooked. But the other series that we started watching, because I binged that during COVID, was Justified. And so the new series, Justified City Primeval, based on the second book that Elmore Leonard wrote about Raylan Givens. We started watching that, so we finished the second episode last night.
You mentioned books and you're speaking over my head.
Nicole just reads them to me. She's been helping me sound stuff out, so we're getting there. One day I'll graduate to the ones that don't have pictures, but
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, uh, so let's talk a little bit about the comedy series we've got coming up. So I know that I have enlisted your services on a couple shows.
Indeed.
Um, we're trying to build the support, but what I can tell you is 90% of the headlining acts are confirmed. The blood has been written in blood, and they are coming. So, very excited about this. I
A
told
blood
you last
contract
night.
actually makes sense with the fact that it's at 3 Ravens. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I know I told you last night that it's I'm pretty hard on myself when it comes to my own personal expectations, but I'm pretty proud of the entertainment we've got coming in this series. It's loaded.
Yeah.
You know, we're a small room. It's an intimate. It's a real warm room. You know, every show that we've had so far up to this has been received very well. It's just a good, comfortable room. How about from your perspective as an entertainer? You know, do you feel the same
Yeah,
when you walk into a room like that?
it's really really good for any type of show, but especially for comedy, because you've got the tight walls, you've got not a super low ceiling, but a low-ish ceiling. So the laughs kind of echo. You can see everyone in the room, which is nice. I mean, you've got just enough seating to make it like to fill the room. It's great, but like there's even if you only have like 25 people, it feels like there's 50. Now, if you got 50, it's
Nice.
going to feel like it's 100 some, because it is just the right kind of room. And it's, yeah, I like an intimate room. I mean, obviously, I would love the chance to do a stadium show eventually one day. I mean, that sounds rad. But comedy is an intimate, um, it's an intimate creature between your performer and your audience, and because you're as a comic, you're feeding the audience, but the audience feeds you back, and
Absolutely.
you're trading all this energy, and it's a good room for that, because your front row is right there at the stage where you want them to be, but even the back row, you can see them even through the
Yeah.
lights. You can see their faces,
You
you
can
can
high
see them
five them.
laughing. Yeah, yeah, you can run off stage, high five them, and be back before you're finished telling a joke.
Yeah. One funny thing about the room, and I've got to talk my wife out of it this year. I got overruled, but in December last year, we had Greg Hahn. Love Greg Hahn. You talk about a high energy show.
Jeez, yeah.
That guy is 100 miles an hour from the first minute all the way to minute 60, or however long he decides to perform. It's crazy. I don't know how he does it. He does walk off, like he'll engage with the fans, but when he's done, he's tapped out. You can tell that he's put all that energy out there on the stage. It was great having Greg. It's December, right? What goes along with December? Christmas.
Uh-huh.
What do you decorate with at Christmas time?
Christmas lights?
Christmas lights, a Christmas tree that we placed immediately behind the stage. So Greg got to perform in front of a Christmas tree, and he made several jokes about it. And I'm like, you know what? He's really doing this well. I really think it would bother me, I guess, if I were like, I didn't even think about it as a musician. Playing in front of a Christmas tree, I just think would be weird. And he played it so well. He made several jokes about it, and then I'm like, maybe we should probably not have that Christmas tree there next year in December.
Yeah, just move it. You can still have it in there. Just move it to a different spot in the room. Yeah,
Greg was
I don't
a
know.
gift enough. He wasn't fitting under the tree.
No. I've worked with Greg a couple times, and he does leave everything on stage, and then when he's done, like if somebody comes up and is like, "Hey, can we get a picture?" He's like, "Oh yeah, all right, here we go." And then they take the picture and you just, because
Yeah.
he's done everything. I, the last
Yeah.
time I worked with him was in Quincy, Illinois, and my old man came, and he was trying to do crowd work with my dad, who is notoriously stoic. And my dad's a big cowboy he was wearing his Stetson. He's got this great big mustache. And Greg kept talking to him. My dad just kept going, nope, no. And Craig was like, "Whoa!" And then he came off stage, looked at me, and goes, "Man, that guy has no sense of humor." I was like, "That's my dad, and I'm sorry." Yeah. But yeah, my dad was like, he's like, "That guy was funny. He just needs to calm down a little bit." And I was like, "That's his whole act, Dad. His whole act is that he's off the wall." But
Yeah. You know,
not all of us can be low key.
yeah. Some other highlights, we had Reno Collier last year started off our comedy series. Reno is a genuine human being. That guy, I can't say enough good stuff about him. I got to spend the 2 days. He was in town for 3 days, but 2 of those days, he and I and a couple buddies went and we played golf each day. And just getting to know him was awesome. He's got a place in his heart for veterans who struggle with PTSD, substance abuse. He's actually got an annual charity golf outing that he hosts, and he works with some programs down where he's from, down by Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I think it's Murfreesboro. That's a hard word to say. So he works with, like I said, obviously me being in the military, we connected really well when he was telling me about all the programs that he was a part of. And he's good buddies with Larry the Cable Guy, so he got to tell some stories. And that was kind of cool to hear about, being, 3 degrees of separation from Larry the Cable Guy. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Couple other highlights. We had Greg Warren. Greg Warren, I had left, so I've been mobilized since February of this year. And I missed Greg Warren's show. But a highlight there was Greg was a former wrestler. He went to Missouri, the college Missouri, and wrestled at Missouri. And he actually put together a viral video back in the day. It was called Stall Camp. And if you're not a wrestler, you don't get it. I'm not going to dive too much into detail on Stall Camp, but if you are a wrestler, I need you to watch that Stall Camp video. Then you'll kind of understand Greg's mentality. Super funny. Anyway, I think it's the last night of the shows, because he did 5. He's doing his piece, and he's got about 10 minutes left. And in walks his high school wrestling coach. Out of nowhere.
Really?
Greg is not from Central Illinois.
No.
Out of nowhere, in walks his wrestling coach with an Illinois legend, Jerry Kelly. And Greg, totally out of character, he's like, "What in the are you doing here?" And it just added so much more. Even that last little 10 minutes, right? That sealed the deal. My wife actually caught it somehow, because she videoed a little bit of it for me, so I can still kind of see it. She actually caught his wrestling coach and Jerry Kelly walking in, and towards the end of his set, and man, that was really neat.
That's really
that was cool experience.
Yeah, and to get Greg to break, that's something, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we kind of closed it out with Mary Mack, who I love her delivery.
Oh,
I saw a couple of. Go ahead.
I was say Mary's a delight. I worked with her at the Snow Jam up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It was a comedy festival, and got to meet her and talk to her. And she is the same person on and off stage. It's the same person, and she's just a delight all around.
Absolutely. So show's over. Last show of the series. She and Clay Foley. Clay Foley was featuring that night. I know you know Clay.
Oh yeah.
My wife is closing things up. We're putting all the chairs up so we don't leave them out. We turn that room over. It goes from coffee shop to comedy show back to coffee shop after every evening of the shows. So my wife, and that's a long weekend. So my wife's putting chairs up, rolling them upstairs, which is a pain. And here comes Mary, all 100 pounds of her, carrying chairs, right? Her and Clay carrying chairs, and Beth was like, "You guys don't have to do that. You were the performers." We're like, "That doesn't mean anything." They helped Beth pack up. So that says a lot about her character and Clay's.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, which it surprises me that Clay had the strength being a vegan.
Let's get him on the phone.
I've seen a stiff wind push that guy over. I love Clay to death. He's one of my traveling buddies. He and I perform together a lot, and it's perfect because he's this tall, skinny vegan, and I am short, stocky, eat everything in front of me if given the opportunity. So, he does, to his credit, he allows me to eat beef jerky in his car. So, he's a good dude.
Does he have cats in his car?
It always feels like it. I feel like when we travel together, God love him, he will vacuum his car out to make sure that, because I'm allergic to cats. Like when I told you earlier this week I was on vocal rest, it's because I had lost my voice because I was near somebody that has 3 cats, and I woke up the next day and I'm like, why can't I talk? Why are my eyes swollen shut? Why can't I do anything? And then I was like all day Monday I was like the worst episode of House you've ever seen. Just redneck House, just being like, why can't I talk? And finally was just like, oh wait, dude, do you have cats? He's like, yeah, man, they were all over me before we left. And I was like, oh, figured it out. I should have taken a Benadryl if I had known.
Yeah.
Now I just gotta ride this out.
Yeah. Funny thing about cats before we wrap this up is I'm allergic as well. My wife knows this. My kids know this. We have a cat in the house.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, we
vetoed, outvoted, majority rules.
My daughter has told me multiple times, there's shots for being allergic to cats. You can get shots that'll keep you from reacting. And I'm like, I'm not going in to get shots so I can have a creature that hates me, that forces me to clean its poop out of a box. Yeah. No thank you.
Yeah, I'll never understand it. But hey, Larry, this was a good introduction, I think, to what we plan to do at 3 Ravens and 3 R Squared with our 23-24 comedy series. Again, very excited about the lineup. We'll start introducing comics next week. And my hope is to actually get them on the show as well, get an idea to understand who they are off the stage. Maybe they'll share some experience that they've had over the years, and we'll just have a good conversation with them.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, brother. Well, I know you guys watched till the end of this, and you were hoping that we would give you an idea of who is yet to come, but you're going to have to stay tuned next week.
We're teasing you.
That's right. All right, guys. Episode 1, Simply Complicated. We out.
Daddy said he's gonna wet my ass if he ever catches me smoking that grass so loaded.